we got the Johnny Depp appeal right here. You have to see. Okay, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me. Okay, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for clicking the little bell. Welcome to another episode of What's Going On? What's going on? Yeah. Now, this one. Now, the Amber Heard appeal was full of shit. I literally was reading it and I was like, are they talking us in circles? I was so disappointed. I have to tell you how much disappointment I felt after reading that, because I hyped it up so much in my head. When I received it last night, or was it early this morning sometime, when I received it, I was so stoked, man. I was happy. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to read it on the air and there's going to be a great show and it's going to be... Dude, it was nothing. Amber Heard's appeal was nothing. It was just 16 points of talking in circles and not saying anything. She didn't say that the audios were fake. She didn't say that any of the evidence wasn't real. She didn't say that Johnny Depp lied. She didn't say that certain witnesses came out with lies or anything. She didn't say anything. She basically just, for 16 points, talked in circles. And I think one time they mentioned Johnny Depp's drug use. That was probably the biggest disappointment in my life, probably since my last relationship. I'm totally kidding. You know, if it wasn't for my last relationship, I wouldn't have my sons. So I'm totally joking. Okay, let's get into this. In the Court of Appeals of Virginia, John C. Depp, Amber Laura Heard, appellant John C. Depp is the second assignments of error. Appellant John C. Depp II, Mr. Depp, or plaintiff, by and through his undersigned counsel, hereby submits the following assignments of error. The trial court erred by denying 1. Mr. Depp's motion for summary judgment as to the appellee Amber Laura Heard's counterclaim, and 2. Mr. Depp's motion to strike the evidence as to Ms. Heard's counterclaim. A. Mr. Waldman is an independent contractor. Yeah. Not an employee. Yeah. For real. And Mr. Depp is not liable for Mr. Waldman's allegedly torturous conduct as a matter of law. No, he's not in the slightest. Like, I could understand if Waldman was under Depp's payroll or something. But you're an attorney. That's even if you have a retainer, that's still not an employee. So it didn't make any sense when they gave her those counterclaims. It made no sense whatsoever. Good job, John. B, the statements, counterclaim statements by non-party Adam Waldman, Mr. Waldman, that are subject of Ms. Heard's, okay, let's see, counterclaim are not actionable statements sufficient to support a claim for defamation. C, Ms. Heard failed to present any clear and convincing evidence that Mr. Waldman made the counterclaim statements with actual malice. Yeah, we didn't see any of that. Preserved. Plaintiff's memoranda to sustain demur, plea in bar to all counterclaims, 6-2, okay, whatever, which motion the parties argued before the trial on October 16th, 2020. And the trial court denied on January 4th, 21, with respect to the 3 statements that ultimately formed the basis for the counterclaim at trial. Plaintiff's memoranda in support of motion for summary judgment regarding counterclaim, which motion the parties argued and the trial court denied on March 24th, 22, as further reflected in the trial court's order. Plaintiff's memorandum in support of motion to strike, which motion the trial court denied after argument on May 24th, 22 and May 26th, 22. The trial court erred in refusing Mr. Depp's proposed jury instruction numbers 22, 23, and 24 as to whether Mr. Waldman was acting as an independent contractor, and he was. Depp's proposed jury instructions numbers 22 to 20 and 24, which the trial court denied on May 20th, 22. 3. The trial court erred in excluding from evidence the full unredacted versions of Mr. Depp's exhibit numbers 881A and 881B and 881C, which are copies of the news articles in which the counterclaim statements appeared. Instead, admitting only redact. See, and that's the thing. You're allowed to. Do you really expect me to believe you're allowed to admit things that are redacted already for evidence? Like, I could understand when they were redacting them live on television. We were all watching. We were all literally watching live on TV, streaming on court TV, whatever it was, Law and Crime on YouTube, whatever it was. Okay, they're going to redact things so that way we can't see them. But you're telling me that there was exhibits of evidence that were already redacted. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I swear. Counterclaim statements appeared, instead admitting only redacted versions that showed the counterclaim statements out of context. Preserve Depp's exhibit numbers 881A, 881B, and 881C, copies of which Ms. Heard attached to her counterclaim as exhibits F, G, and H, which plaintiff argued should be admitted in their entirety. Now, that right there, and that looks like it's the end of that. This is a real short one. Yeah, because Johnny Depp doesn't have to put out 16 points of bullshit the way that Amber Heard did. That right there, I still go back to that, and I can't believe that we're reading this right now. I never even heard about that. The fact that they gave the evidence, they admitted these things redacted already. I'd have been like, dude, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Why would you redact things and then admit them to evidence? Oh, because you can't make your fucking case if they're not redacted the way that you want them, which is funny because that's the exact same tactic that Amber Heard stands use. They will redact court evidence from the trial and then they put it out as evidence to make their case. So that's how you can tell that the Amber Heard stands are actually just Amber Heard. Okay, that's going to be about it for today. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me this long. We will catch you next time.